Welcome to the Wild Hall with ELISE. This is an intimate, sensual experience for women who want the truth in their bodies, not just in their heads. And I'll tell you now, I'm direct, I face what's uncomfortable, I don't tiptoe. I'm here to unleash the truth, embodied, raw, and real. When you listen, you'll feel something shift in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. You'll get language for what you've been feeling all along, and clarity you can actually use. Here, everything belongs: natural health, motherhood, womanhood, identity, love, endings, devotion, and the brave decisions that shape a life, like new beginnings. And when I'm on a path of discovery, you're coming with me. I'll share where I've been, where I'm going, and what I'm learning as I go. Because life doesn't hand us a neat lesson plan. It hands us a wild haul and invites us to make meaning from what we carry. Welcome to the Wild Hall with ELISE. Follow, subscribe, and come walk with me. I'm coming into this episode today really deeply alive and really passionate about this topic. What I want to talk about is the potential problem of coed spaces, coed healing spaces, coed personal growth spaces, coed coaching spaces, coed communities, coed spiritual spaces, coed workshops, retreats, masterminds, circles, programs. Any space where you are going to do work on yourself, any space where you are going to open, any space where you are going to tell the truth, any space where you are going to be seen in the parts of yourself that maybe have not had much air, maybe much language, or even witnessing. And that can be powerful, that can be beautiful, and it can be catalytic, and it can also carry real risk, especially if you are in a partnership, whether you are dating and building toward long-term, whether you are engaged, whether you are married, whether you are in a committed relationship you say you want to last. If that is true, then I really want you to hear me. Going into a coed space by yourself for healing, growth, development, awakening, professional support, whatever language you want to use, it has its risks. And if you are not steady in your sense of self, if you are not clear on what you are there for, if you are not anchored in your values, if your partnership is already shaky or undernourished or avoiding truth, then yes, you are putting your relationship at risk. You are. And the reason I say that is not to be dramatic. It is because of what these spaces are designed to do. They are designed to open you. You are sharing your heart. You are sharing parts of yourself that maybe you have not even shared with your own partner. You are being invited to explore your wounds, your blocks, your veils, your patterns, your unmet needs, your history, your grief, your desires, your truth. You are doing radical work. You are facing hard truths. You are listening to others. You are holding space. You are activating self-compassion. You are softening. You are becoming more honest. You are letting yourself be seen. And that is tender territory. That is vulnerable territory. And vulnerable people can attach. Not because they are broken or stupid or weak. Because they are human. And when you are in a container where someone is listening well, where someone is reflecting you back to yourself, where someone is validating your pain, where someone is witnessing your becoming, it can feel intoxicating. It can feel holy. It can feel magnetic. It can feel like finally someone sees me. And maybe they do, but I want to name something very clearly. The seduction of being seen is real. Being seen is powerful. Being seen in a heightened container can be confused for being deeply known. Those are not always the same thing. Being seen in a room where everyone is gathered for truth-telling, vulnerability, and emotional depth is not the same as being known in the middle of ordinary life. Being known is, who are you on the hard Tuesday? Who are you when your children are upset and they need you? Who are you when the bills are due? Who are you when you are disappointed? Who are you when conflict happens? Who are you when desire goes quiet? Who are you when resentment has built up? Who are you when real repair is required? That is a different kind of intimacy. And what can happen in coed spaces is that the emotional intensity, the vulnerability, the tenderness, the witnessing, it can create a bond that feels profound, but is actually untested by real life. And if you are not careful, you can begin attaching to another participant, or to the facilitator or coach or therapist, or to whoever is making you feel most seen in that moment. And if that starts happening, especially with someone of the opposite sex while you are in a committed partnership, I am going to say it plainly. That is a red flag. Alarm bells. Not because attraction never happens, not because humans do not respond to attention, but because that is not what the space is for. That is not healing. That is not liberation. That is not integration. That is often escape. And sometimes it is emotional dependency. So I want to name the difference between healing and emotional dependency because I think this is where a lot of people get confused. Healing gives you tools to return to in your real life. Emotional dependency makes you feel like you need the space, the person, the coach, the circle, the facilitator in order to function. Healing strengthens self-trust. Dependency strengthens attachment to the container or person. Healing makes you more honest, more grounded, more discerning, more capable of feeling what is true and bringing that truth into your real life. Dependency makes you feel like your clearest self only exists there, only in that room, only with that teacher, only inside that group text, only when the facilitator is reflecting you back to yourself. Healing should make you more available for your real life. Dependency makes you subtly unavailable for it. Healing helps you tell the truth at home. Dependency makes you more likely to save your tenderness for the room and your distance for your partner. Healing helps you integrate. Dependency keeps you emotionally orbiting the container. Healing says, take this insight and go live it. Dependency says, stay close to me so you can keep feeling it. That difference matters a lot because some people are not actually being healed. They are becoming emotionally attached to the place where they first felt relief. And I understand why that happens. And that is exactly why ethics matters so much. Because not every space is ethical. Not every facilitator has done enough of their own work. Not every leader who sounds wise is safe. Not every expensive space is a mature one. Not every polished brand is anchored in integrity. And I really need you to understand this. Just because someone charges a lot does not mean they are excellent. Just because someone is followed by many does not mean they are ethical. Just because someone uses words like trauma-informed, embodied, sacred, feminine, conscious, devotional, transformed, liberated, does not mean that they know how to safely hold human vulnerability. Some of the most damaging people are the most beautifully marketed. So what does an ethical space actually look like? An ethical space has clear boundaries. The facilitator knows their role. The client knows their role. There is warmth, yes. There is care, yes. There is compassion, yes. But there is no blurring of lines. No favoritism, no special access, no emotional exclusivity, no secret intimacy, no inappropriate texting, no making one participant feel chosen, no cultivating dependence, no quiet little side dynamics that make someone feel like they are getting a more personal version of the leader than the rest of the group. An ethical facilitator is not trying to become central in your life. They are trying to help you become more anchored in your own. An ethical space does not emotionally triangulate. It does not subtly turn you against your partner. It does not only validate your side of the story. It does not encourage you to outgrow everyone in your life while making the facilitator or the group feel like the enlightened exception. That is a culty dynamic. I do not care how pretty it is. I do not care how expensive it is. I do not care how elevated the language is. An ethical space respects your real life. It respects your family system. It respects your children. It respects your commitments. It respects your existing relationships. It does not ask you to become less accountable in the name of becoming more free. It gives you tools for freedom integration. It helps you take what you are learning and apply it to your actual life, your actual communication, your actual marriage, your actual body, your actual grief, your actual home, your actual nervous system, your actual responsibilities. If a facilitator is not giving you tools to live your life and deal with your real shit, then what are they really doing? What are they doing? Because the point is not just revelation. The point is embodiment. The point is not just aha breakthrough moments. The point is what you do after. The point is not how open you get in the circle. The point is whether you can bring that honesty home. There are many people facilitating healing work who are not actually born to do this work. I said it. There are people who received medicine. They had a breakthrough. They had an awakening. They got liberated in some part of themselves, and they turned around too quickly and decided they were now meant to lead others through the deep throes of the human experience. And that is dangerous. Because helping people transform is not about inspiration. It is not just about passion. It is not just about wanting to help. It requires maturity. It requires ethics. It requires discernment. It requires boundaries. It requires humility. It requires being willing to name what is happening in real time, even when it is uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. And one of those uncomfortable things is transference. When a client feels deeply seen, deeply held, deeply validated by a facilitator or guide, and they start to feel bonded, attached, or emotionally drawn toward that person, this is real. It happens. It is not rare. It is not crazy. It is not random. But it has to be handled with integrity. Because when you are receiving attention, guidance, reflection, challenge, and presence from someone in a way that you are not yet receiving in your relationship, of course something in you may light up. Of course. You may believe, they get me. They see me. They accept me. They know the real me. I feel more like myself with them. I want more time with them. I want to be near them. I wish my partner could meet me like this. I understand that. But that does not mean that person is meant for you. And it does not mean that dynamic is sacred. And it definitely does not mean it is appropriate to feed it. It means something in you has been touched. And now the question is, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to project all that energy onto the person or container that awakened it? Or are you going to bring that awareness back into your real life and ask harder, truer questions? What truth have you spoken in a circle that you have not yet spoken at home? What part of you feels more welcome in a workshop than in your relationship? What longing is getting met in a space that is still starving in your day-to-day life? What honesty have you practiced with strangers that you are withholding from the person you say you love? What would it look like to bring that part of you back into your real life with honesty and courage? That is the work. That is the work. Not becoming more emotionally attached to the room, not quietly fantasizing about the person who witnessed you there, not deciding the space is more real than your actual fucking life, not talking yourself into believing that attachment is a sign from the universe. No, bring it home. If you are in a relationship that matters to you, invite your partner in. Invite them into what you're learning. Invite them into the language. Invite them into the growth. Invite them into the curiosity. Tell them, this is opening something in me. This is helping me see myself differently. This is showing me where I have been shut down, scared, guarded, and quiet. I want to bring this home. I want to grow with you. I want us to have access to this kind of honesty together. That is on the table. That is available. And if they say no, that opens another layer of truth. But at least you are moving toward reality, not away from it. Because I feel we are living in a really dysfunctional time. A time where communities can become echo chambers, where healing spaces can become attachment spaces, where people get so focused on the individual story, the individual freedom, the individual liberation, the individual happiness, that they lose sight of responsibility, devotion, integration, and relational maturity. And I am not interested in a version of healing that pulls people further away from their real lives. I am not interested in facilitators who become more important than a person's own integrity. I am not interested in spaces that feel profound but create dependency. I am not interested in awakening that is disconnected from ethics. I am not interested in freedom that leaves a trail of unaddressed wreckage behind it. I am interested in the kind of healing that makes you more honest, more self-aware, more rooted, more mature, more capable of repair, more able to tell the truth, more able to love well, more able to hold complexity, more able to return to your real life and glow it up from the inside. That is healing. That is power. That is embodiment. So if you are going into coed spaces, go in all the way awake. Know your intention. Know your values. Know your vulnerabilities. Know where your relationship is strong. Know where it is hungry. Know where you are susceptible to being seduced by attention, reflection, and emotional intensity. And be honest with yourself, radically honest. Because being witnessed in a room is one thing, but building a life with someone is another. Do not confuse being activated with being aligned. Do not confuse being witnessed in a room with being built within a life. And do not hand your devotion to a space that was only meant to teach you how to come home. Thank you for listening to The Wild Hall with ELISE. If you'd be so kind to follow, rate, and share this episode with someone you know who'd resonate with it, I'd greatly appreciate it. Check out the show notes for more details and connect with me anytime at birthhumanity.com or on Instagram or Facebook at birthhumanity. Talk to you soon.